Hey friends, so welcome back to DBC Live. We are so excited to join you on another Thursday night for free PD night or free inspiration night, I guess, if you have Dave and me. I'm not sure how much PD you're going to be getting tonight, but I know you're in for a treat on a good conversation because we get together. It's always fun to chat and hear what you guys have to say about it too. So Dave is on the show with me today. We are excited.
Hey, Tara, thanks for having me on, and good to see everybody. Make sure you put your comments over there on the side. We're going to be giving away a book tonight, so if you have your comment in there, we will two books.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be giving away 2 books tonight. So make sure your comments over on the side, pop them in there so we know who's here, where you're from, what you do, and we would like to greet you as you're coming on into the chat here.
Yeah, definitely. So tonight we are going to be just sharing some ideas. We've been talking about some different things that over the summer, what can we do to keep ourselves inspired, but maybe we don't really want to dive into a book, or maybe right now we just finished school yesterday and we're not really ready to learn anything new right now. But there's still ways to challenge ourselves and challenge our minds and help us to grow, even if that doesn't look like professional development, standardized professional development, what we're used to seeing. We hope that you'll want to read some books later once you recharge a little bit. But for right now, we're really hoping to inspire you in other ways that we can challenge ourselves over the summer.
Yeah, see, Sean has popped in here. What's up, Sean? Sean is challenging you with a new stand-up routine after seeing your YouTube video. Yeah, and so speaking of that video is going to come up today as part of something that we're talking about with our topic tonight. So
yeah, somebody asked me, I think it was Jennifer. Jennifer, what is her last name? Oh, Jen, I'm so sorry. I can't remember your last name. I'll think of it in just a second, but it was Jennifer. Oh, well, I can't remember it. But anyways, Jennifer Williams. Yes, she was like, hey, what about stand-up EDU? I think if you decide you don't want to work for DBC anymore, you can always try some stand-up EDU.
There you go. Awesome.
I don't know about all that, but it was a lot of fun to create that. And I do think that there are like so many ways, like Dave said, we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But before we do, why don't you, as you are joining in, I see some people in here, but maybe they haven't said anything yet. Welcome, Amy. Good to see you, Shannon. Be sure and tell us who you are and share something exciting that happened this week. We are in Thursday, so we're headed into the holiday weekend. And I would love to hear some exciting things that are happening in your world. It can be personal or professional. But Dave, do you have anything exciting that's happened in your week that you would like to share?
Oh, let me think about that. And hi, Amy and Shannon. So glad that you joined us. So Monica has popped in here now too. Yes, it's Thursday already. I know this week flew by for me too. I don't know what happened to it, but it's like, oh my gosh, like you got to be kidding me. The weekend's coming. Hi, Ryan Reed. Good to see you as well.
Yeah. So something exciting that happened to me this week is I started a new program. I love fitness, so I'm really excited about fitness, all things fitness, right? But I started a new program for accessories. So I go to my class and then I also do like this workout on my own that's just kind of building different muscles that'll help me in class later. And it's a powerlifting program. And I haven't done any kind of powerlifting since I was in high school. So it has just been so fun. It's kind of nostalgic, like to get behind the bar and do bench press and some things like that I haven't done. I do pull-ups and I do other Olympic kind of lifting and CrossFit, but that has been so fun. I've been having a lot of memories of my friend Haley and I back in high school, like challenging each other in the gym when we were preparing for volleyball or basketball or track, all the different little sports that we played in high school. So yeah, that's fun, something exciting and kind of fun for me.
Shannon says she just got off of a wonderful EE conquest with Naomi, so that's very cool. Thanks for popping over in here after having that conversation. That's awesome. So here's one of the things that we want to talk about. So maybe we have these goals, maybe we have these things that we want to accomplish, but we're not feeling so inspired all the time. We're not feeling motivated. and we want to have some sort of way to keep ourselves accountable for something. And there's two different techniques that we want to talk about, and maybe how those two things can tie together. And the two different things are challenges and accountability partners. Okay. So how can you create a challenge around what it is that you want to accomplish? And how can you draw on accountability partners to make sure that you're staying responsible and committed to what you said that you were going to do? And by the way, I see Amy mentioned that she has a new birthday coming up. She's heading into a new decade of her life. But I also noticed on social media that she did not say which decade she was entering, and she was having people guess which decade. I think that's entirely dangerous to do. I wouldn't recommend having people guess ages. I learned long ago not to guess ages. When someone says that, I always just say about 20 years younger than I actually think they are, just to be safe. So, but and I'm also super proud of Amy because she's been crushing her fitness lately too. But so. Challenges can make all the difference in the world. I talk about this in my PD sometimes, like, don't give assignments, right? So I don't want an assignment. Let's be honest. You don't want an assignment, but challenge me. I'll do almost anything. And so if you can create a challenge around something, it's just so much more motivating. It's so much more fun to overcome a challenge. And so Tara, that reel that Sean mentioned with you doing the kind of little comedy routine there happens to be a part of a challenge for you. Why don't you tell us about the challenge that you're taking part in?
Yeah. So when Lisa Tobin came and visited me, by the way, she lives in Missouri, I live in Kansas, we realized we're pretty close to each other. So about 4 hours away from each other. She came to visit me a few weeks ago, and we were talking about just needing to put out more content, just different content on our Instagram account. We both work out all the time, so we're very faithful to put those videos out. But like, we can do other things, and we have other interests. So we were talking about like, how do we get on board with like putting more content out there? And so once she got home, she challenged me. She said, "Hey, would you do 30 reels in 30 days? REELS, so videos." 30 videos for Instagram in 30 days. And I was like, whoa, that's like, I'm comfortable on video, but that's extra. Like that isn't a challenge I don't think I want to take on. That seems a little extreme. But I would do 15 videos and you do 15 videos. Like, I'll take the odd days, you take the even. We'll do 30 reels in 30 days together. And we'll hold each other accountable. What do you think? And she was like all in. She's like, okay, let's do it. So for the last week and a half, I've been thinking about like, what would I do? Like, what am I going to do on these videos that people might be interested in, or just give me some new skills, because you have to edit those videos and you have to kind of make it interesting. So I started just playing around and watching on TikTok and just seeing what people are interested in. But it's been really fun, because then yesterday, Lisa, I'm totally about to call you out. So if you're in here, I love you. But she said to me, I said, okay, tomorrow is day one. I'm on, it looks like I'm going first. And she was like, well, what if we just kind of do 15 sometime in July, like whatever. And if we miss, we miss. And I'm like, no. Like, if you challenge me, I am all in. And what is it? Like, if we just say, oh, we're going to do 15 at some point, that doesn't happen. Like, let's be honest. We got to hold each other accountable. I'll do the odds. You do the evens. We put something out there. We're not going to go in planning to miss. Now, if we miss, fine, whatever. But we're not going to go in planning to miss. And I think, if we, going back to Dave's statement, when we make something a challenge for students or our learners, it changes the dynamics. It's no longer like, I have to do this. It's like, game on. Like, stand back, go ahead, eat some popcorn and watch me put on a show because I'm about to wow you. Like, I think that's what kids start to think. And that's how we can get them more excited about whatever it is that they're doing. I mentioned this to my coach the other day. I was like, we had to take a test, 100-calorie ride on the assault bike. And I thought I was going to die. I'm like, if we just didn't call it a test, can we just call it a challenge? I just think it'd be way more fun if it was called a challenge.
Yeah, so I see Kristen. Kristen, how you doing? She popped in here that if I put a design challenge, no rules on the board, the crowd goes wild. Yes, people love challenges. It's so true. And there's that, and that accountability, find an accountability partner. And challenges don't have to be me against you. Like, it's not Tara against Lisa. It's Lisa and Tara together overcoming something, right? And doing something and committing something. Same thing with students. Just because something is a challenge doesn't mean that you have to put them in competition with each other. The competition is everybody to achieve the goal, right? So it's a group challenge and it's a team challenge is what you're looking for in education, as opposed so much to a competitive thing where you're going to have, maybe bad feelings or something like that. So create your challenges to be collaborative as opposed to competitive. And I think that's a useful thing to think about as far as with students.
Totally. And, by the way, when I told her, like, hey, I gotta go, I'm all in. She's like, yeah, I'm all in too. Like, she was too. But, it gets a little scary when you get to starting, right? The challenge is always super fun until you realize it's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to involve a little bit of intentionality. It's going to require you to like schedule some time out of your calendar to make it happen. And I think it's then where everyone starts to feel like Lisa did yesterday, where you're just like, well, what if, we kind of do this and we kind of do this and we just kind of move that challenge around and make it easy and comfortable. And then I'm like, well, is it really a challenge at that point? Is it super challenging? And then if there's no schedule for me, oh, Dave knows. I mean, he's my boss. I have to have a schedule. I have to know like what promos we're going to be putting out each day, like all the things. I need a schedule. I need a lineup. And so that helps me. And I bet there's students out there that are both like me and Lisa. Me, I'm so rigid. Lisa, she's like, she could probably get 15 done at the last minute. But by having us go every other day, it's kind of like tag you're it and tag you're it. And tag your, and it feels like more like a team, like he was talking about. It's not like me against you. It's not like we're going to count them all up at the end. We will know because both of us will have done one each day.
Yeah, I see that Sean mentioned the fitness challenges. A lot of the fitness challenges have gone kind of viral during the pandemic, and that's a perfect example. Shannon just did one too. That's so cool. Monica's talking about how her littles learn that everyone could be a winner. So that's the way I love challenges where there's not one winner and a whole bunch of losers, but where if everyone accomplishes something, then everyone could be a winner in the challenge. It's fantastic. I'll tell you a couple of crazy challenges that I've seen over the pandemic. And one of them is definitely didn't start as a group challenge, but it turned into kind of a group challenge. So there's this guy, I don't know if you ever heard about, I'm going to link to him in the Sunday 7, which I'm coming out with this Sunday. By the way, if you have not signed up for the Sunday 7, what are you doing? If you go to daveburgessconsulting.com and sign up for our email list, every single Sunday, you'll get the Sunday 7, where either I'll do it, Tara, Shelley, or one of our authors does 7 things that they're either thinking about, resources, just some cool thing, maybe a Netflix show that they're binge watching, they're recommending, a book recommendation outside of education, could be like a new wine, could be anything. There's all sorts of stuff that's been in there, right? And so sign up for the Sunday 7. I'm this coming Sunday. One of the things I'm going to link to is the Iron Cowboy. The Iron Cowboy is a guy named James Lawrence. He lives in Utah. And he first came on the scene in extreme sports by what he did is he ran 50 Ironman length triathlons in 50 days in 50 states, right? So every day for 50 days in a row in a different state. And if you're not familiar with an Ironman triathlon length thing that is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride. And then when you're done with that, you run a marathon, 26.2 miles, okay? All in one day, right? So you do it back to back. Well, that wasn't good enough for him. What he just finished in May in Utah, he did 100 days in a row of an Ironman length triathlon. And by the end of it, he had a huge group of people that were meeting up with him every day and following. It's like you've seen Forrest Gump, where people started to follow Forrest Gump because he was running. Like he was a real life Forrest Gump. People were traveling from other areas of the country to go run like an Ironman or the marathon with him, or do the bike ride with him. And you're like, there would be hundreds of people out doing this with the Iron Cowboy. And what did he do the day after doing his 100 in a row? He did 101 just to prove a point. that is insane. And don't expect me to do a challenge like that, but man, did it inspire a lot of people.
It is. Like, that was the talk of CrossFit class last week. They were just talking about Iron Cowboy. That's how I learned so much about him, even before you just said that. I'd never even heard of him before, but that is insane. But that kind of brings up a point, Dave. By the way, we shoot from the hip on these, so it sounds like we really know what we're dealing with, like, just to be honest. But this brings up a great point, that you have to know your limits, right? There are things where you're going to be challenged. So say somebody came to me and said, hey, would you like to be the next Iron Cowgirl? No, not really interested in that. But there's some things I can do that would challenge me outside of what I already know I'm capable of doing. And I think that's where we have to realize our limitations. Like, you don't want to go out there and just run a couple of marathons just because somebody challenged you to do it, because it's not worth getting injured and not being able to keep your body healthy and fit for the rest of the year, right? But same with this, like this little video challenge, if you will. If you're not comfortable on video whatsoever, 15 of these in 1 month might be too much, but maybe challenging yourself to do 5 in a month would be something you could do. And you learn these new editing tips. I've already got 2 apps on my phone that are working beautifully for me. One I'm using right now is called Perfect Video. I love it because basically, like today, where I did an outfit change in a 30-second video, you can't really physically do that. So I recorded the video in one outfit. I recorded the video in another outfit. Put it in Perfect Video, and then put them side by side where I wanted them. I just like trimmed them until they were right meeting up. So easy. Like, it literally did not take me as long as it would have taken me in like iMovie or something. So learning some new tools too, to be able to use, but taking on challenges you can actually do, and not like stretch yourself so much that you're like, not only not going to help your accountability partner on your end of it, but also not capable of. If I had to be Iron Cowgirl, well, it would be faster.
Well, me neither. I'm not going to be the Iron Cowboy anytime soon. But by the way, Lisa popped in. Were your ears burning? Because Tara was just talking about you possibly throwing you under the bus, but we won't say anything about that. But yeah, so
I was bragging about you too.
Yeah. So tomorrow, Lisa, we're going to be ready for your reel to hit, because you're the even days, Tara's the odd days. So check out Lisa Tobin's reel for tomorrow. The pressure is on. So yeah, I think that's really cool, Tara, that part of what you accomplished by doing that is you learned an all new skill. Mm-hmm. And so your challenge, in order to accomplish your challenge, you learn something new, which then you're going to be able to take into your other work and the other stuff that you do as well. And so that's fantastic. And what you said about making sure it's something that you could do. You want it to be a challenge implies that it's going to be hard, but it does have to be doable. I remember when I first started running, I got a direct message from Adam Welcome, and Adam said, "Let's sign up for a marathon. Let's go." And I was like, "Adam, no, like I'm not about to get injured. Like, I'm not ready. My body cannot do a marathon right now."
Yeah.
And so you do have to know your limitations. You want to push yourself but you also want to know your limitations, and not get yourself into crazy. All right, you ready for the second fitness challenge that happened during the pandemic? And this one is from one of my favorite inspirational motivators, a guy who can always get me fired up when I watch his videos, David Goggins. Okay. So David Goggins is a complete beast, and he is not only was he a military beast, but he's an extreme athlete beast, and he has a great inspirational story. And when you listen to his videos, you're just going to want to get off the couch and go do something hard. But anyway, what he has the 4x4x48. And so this is a little more approachable. Here's what the challenge is. You run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Okay. So that would mean through the night too. You have to catch your sleep when you catch it. And so I wrote down what the total would be here. So that would be, you would be running over the course of it 48 miles in 48 hours. From our Canadian friends, that's 77 kilometers. So 4 by 4 by 48. So you run 4 miles and you have a few hours to rest up before you have to do your next 4. So the 4 by 4 by 48. That's kind of a fun challenge. It's a little more approachable, but still, as you get into that second 24 hours, it's going to start to wear and tear on you. And so that could be tough. I see Tisha is popping in from Maui, Hawaii. Fantastic.
Hey, girl.
Yes.
I'll be with Tish in a couple of weeks. So Tish, be prepared on the even days that I'm with you. We'll be making
and I see Nick has popped in here, and what she said, I would totally do this challenge if I had a partner. That's the key. Find yourself an accountability. If you're going to do one of these challenges, find yourself an accountability partner or a group to push each other and hold each other accountable and to kind of inspire each other. And I think that's the way to go on this. And even if you're doing it on your own, you can still have a virtual accountability partner.
Yeah, I think, and that's the same with any kind of challenge. I feel like even Dave and I are kind of accountability partners for fitness. I mean, now we're pretty much, it's just a part of what we do, right? But definitely at the beginning of our fitness journey, I would say you and I definitely kept each other accountable.
Yeah, send that run map and stuff, and you'd send your CrossFit workout and like, what's up? When are you going to work out today? Go get it. Go get yours. I got mine. It's kind of like hey, I got mine. Go get yours.
It's very helpful to have somebody. If you don't have someone, reach out to your PLN. There's usually a lot of people out there that are wishing they had a partner too. And so, yeah, finding an accountability partner changes the game. Remember that for your students too, because I think sometimes we challenge them to do things. So maybe we need to challenge them and, find a partner. Who could be your partner that would help you? And just helping them to realize, relying on somebody and how helpful that is to have someone cheer you on when you're down and vice versa. Yeah, I love it. You guys are killing it.
So Sean talked about he did a 30-day challenge with his class based on a TED Talk. I'd love to know what that was. Sean, let us know what that was all about. Some of those streak challenges are cool too. Like they're like, the 365 challenges and things like that, or 30, 90, whatever it might be. A fitness one that's pretty popular is there's like the 75 hard one where, you're doing something every day for a stretch of a period of time. But yeah, those can be inspiring too.
Definitely. And sometimes if you don't have an accountability partner, this is going to sound silly, but it's okay. So say you're trying to drink more water every single day and you just post that on your story. Sometimes just posting it out into the world is kind of your accountability partner. And if you need somebody to cheer you on, tag me. I will definitely keep cheering you on. I know that Amy was in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she's been doing workouts and she's been posting them on her Facebook. And I really love that because we get to see the behind the scenes. And also what's really lovely about posting them anywhere on social media, I like to post them in my stories, is you can go back and look at your highlights. Like right now, my highlights from last year keep showing up. And I was trying to learn to do a pull-up, and those videos crack me up, but they also inspire me. And it was me against me, right? It was me just trying to do a new skill. And now this is like a skill I do all the time. Many pull-ups in one workout. And so it's cute it's just great to see the growth over time. So your post can become like a fitness log, like your time machine that holds all the things that you're trying to do. And so I think that too can be an accountability to yourself if you don't have a partner.
And it serves as inspiration for others too. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's on the fence about whether or not they're going to get involved in something like that. And when they see your journey, like, oh, you know what, I can do this. And no matter where your journey starts, in fact, even if your journey is starting a little further back, sometimes that's even better because it inspires more people. Like, you know what, look what they're doing. I can do this too. I can start doing this too. And so no matter where you are along the journey, feel free to share it. And since Nick from Winnipeg is in here, I'll say she just accomplished quite a challenge, and she was raising money for a wonderful cause and just did 25K. So just did a 25K race. Or I won't say it's a race. 25. She ran 25K, which is a long, long way. I think we decided it was over 15 miles for you that are not K literate, kilometer literate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's far.
Linda, thank you for popping in here. She's talking about how it's emotionally and mentally so helpful to have that accountability partner.
So awesome. And way to go, Nick. And then Heather, I just read yours. You're doing a summer challenge to do an Around the Lakes challenge. It's 408 miles, which is 11 of the Finger Lakes in New York. Her best friend and her are keeping each other motivated. That's awesome. So fun. And, sometimes I will say, sharing videos, some people are like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. And like, it's embarrassing or whatever. But if you get comfortable with it, there's always going to be people that just know there's always going to be people out there that maybe don't like that content. Well, they can just look somewhere else or keep scrolling. But if it helps you and it motivates you and you want to post it and encourages you, like I said, when you go back and look at it, you can always see this cool growth over time. And that's exciting. So I just keep doing me. And like, if my followers don't want to see it, they can either keep scrolling or just find someone else to follow that puts out content that they're interested in, because that's the beauty of social media. We don't have to please everyone that's like in our feed necessarily.
So I see, Sean, you just scared the, out. I can't believe this. The 30-day challenge, his part of the challenge was he couldn't drink soda for 30 days. Do you know what that would do to me if I couldn't drink Diet Coke for 30 days? Like, I'm just like, I shudder to think of the headaches I would get just in the first week.
Dave takes Diet Coke through an IV, in case any of you guys don't know. And that's why he's so energized all the time. He is loaded with caffeine.
And by the way, if you do partake in one of these challenges and you fall short at any part of the time, just go out the next day. Like, it doesn't, you don't beat yourself up. Don't get upset. And, I have days sometimes where I just didn't get out and run, or didn't do the miles, didn't have it, whatever it is. And you get up the next day and you do the next day. And so don't let one failure stop you from this larger goal of what you're ultimately trying to accomplish. The challenge is just a small part of it. It's really creating habits and a lifestyle. And so don't let falling short on the challenge keep you from creating that habit and that lifestyle that you want.
It's so true. And then, of course, don't go in with the mindset that you're going to miss, right? Don't go in planning to conquer. And then if you miss, just know, okay, tomorrow's a new day. We're going to get it back. And if you have any ounce of time in the day, like there have been times when I did that dang push-up challenge that I never wish I would have done because it was so hard. But I laid in bed and I was like, oh, snap, I have 22 push-ups I need to do. It just rolled out of bed in my jammies, just pumped out my push-ups, got a little selfie at the end, and boom, I'm done. But there are times where it's like that. Like, days are so busy, you end up forgetting like a piece of your challenge. I mean, if you still have an hour left in the day or 5 minutes or whatever it takes to get it done, try to get it done. But if you can't, there's always tomorrow.
I see Karen has popped in here all the way from Australia.
Sweet.
Good to see you, Karen.
Sweet. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining in, friends. We love chatting with you. And like we were talking about earlier, learning can look, sound, and feel so many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be, we're all like watching a professional development speaker, or we're reading a book and doing a book study, which is traditional learning for us as educators. But learning can be just what Lisa and I are doing. We are learning to present ourselves in different ways on video, and then learning how to edit them in different apps. I looked up all kinds of apps to make it easy for me. Another app I looked up today is how to take like 7 pictures and make it into a quick, like really quick, almost like GIF, like slideshow. There's billions of apps for that, but I've never had a need to look for that. But now I'm like, ooh, I could use this for DBC Inc. when we're looking at a bunch of books. We want to feature a lot of books on our story, and there's like 15 right now we have like 3 new math books that have just come out. So I'm like, oh, I can easily transfer this great knowledge that I just learned into my work profession world. And so for you, maybe you're trying something new and you're like, oh, this would be so easy to teach the kids when we're doing this unit but you're just doing it for fun. So keep in mind, when we're doing stuff for fun and it seems like we feel guilty because we're not like studying or preparing for next year, probably the things that you're doing can easily transfer over anyway, even if it's not like an app that they can use. Maybe it's a metaphor for life and it ends up going with a thematic unit that you're doing with literacy or something. There's always connections that can be made. So have some fun learning this summer for sure and challenge each other.
I see Tisha's trying to make us jealous. She was paddleboarding with sea turtles today. So instead of she was paddleboarding with sea turtles in Maui. So that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a great way to get your exercise in. I am headed back to the islands in the middle of July. And so I'm going to, my run maps will get more interesting again once I get back to the big island of Hawaii. I can't wait. One of the bad things about doing this topic tonight is that I haven't done my exercise today. And so now I don't have any excuses. Like, how can I have this Facebook Live tonight and then not get out there? So hold me accountable, everybody. Check my IG story at DBC_INC or my Facebook story tonight and see whether or not I have any maps in there of exercise.
It'll be there. We're counting on you. We'll call you out if it isn't. And Lisa, we'll be looking for your reel tomorrow. Can't wait to see it. Yeah. So if any of you start a challenge of any sort, tag us on Facebook. You know our handles, but on Twitter at Tara Martin EDU, Burgess Dave, and then at DBC_Inc. We'd love to see your cool challenges. We're calling ours a tag team challenge. So if you do have a partner and you want to use the hashtag tag team challenge, that's what Lisa and I are calling ours. Tag team real challenge is what ours is called right now.
Hey, Tara, before we get out of here too, yeah. We just put a new book out. So Jennifer Costa-Todd, Raising Digital Leaders. This is not just for educators, but also for parents or anyone really who interacts with young people in a way in your family. So, and how to navigate the complexities of modern technology and social media, screen time, gaming, and like what's going on TikTok, Snapchat. Like my kid won't put their phone down, like all these different things like that. This stuff is addressed in here, and it's not like a ban social media scare tactic book. It's like, hey, let's have a real discussion about how students and children, young people can use social media in empowering ways and ways that serve them and are intentional about it, as opposed to letting it kind of take over their life or be a negative thing. And so Raising Digital Leaders might be just the book you need as you're opening conversations in your family around social media and the use of technology.
Yep. Awesome. Check it out. We'll drop that link over in the comments. We also are going to be choosing 2 winners. So we're going to leave this up for the rest of the night. Hopefully it inspires somebody to get their workout on in the morning or to get their challenge on in the morning. And we will be choosing 2 winners to win a book of choice from DBC Inc. Raising Digital Leaders will be among those books. And you can see above and below this video our DBC Inc. bookstore, so you can choose from any of those books. Also, if you aren't the lucky winner, it's okay. We do these every single Thursday night. So join us for another Thursday, and you might be the lucky winner of that one. But if you're not the lucky winner and you want to check out a free preview of any book on that list, all you have to do is click the book cover, scroll down, click preview. You can literally preview the first 3 chapters of any book for free. So if you're interested in like checking out some content, you're not sure if you want to buy that book yet, or if you want to try to win it, you can go check it out in our bookstore, which is linked above and below wherever you're watching these videos. So thank you so much for joining us again for Thursday Night Live. Dave and I kind of like it when people cancel, because then that means we got to do it. And that's what happened tonight. So it's the Dave and Tara show for you guys tonight. And thank you for joining us. We really enjoyed it. Bye, everyone.